I promise you, God will fight for your justice. And I will never give up. Benjamin was caught. He has ever bragged I can never enter handcuff. He's on handcuff. 1% of the pay is gone this morning. Now Benjamin is caught.
A rising socialite, a young influencer, and a gruesome confession. What really happened behind the closed doors of a luxury apartment in Lagos? A crime so gruesome, so unexpected, it left an entire nation reeling. This is a story of betrayal, secrets, and the fatal price of unchecked emotions. They were the picture-perfect couple, young, beautiful, and wealthy. To the outside world, they seemed to have it all: love, fame, and a life most could only dream of. But beneath the surface, a storm was cooking, a storm that would end in bloodshed. It started with a single phone call, a mother desperately trying to reach her daughter. Hours passed, days went by. Then her worst fears became a horrifying reality. When authorities entered the apartment, they uncovered a scene so disturbing it defied comprehension. A life ended far too soon, and the body desecrated in ways that provided more questions than it did answers. After the heinous act, there was a public confession that shocked millions, a confession broadcast to the world through social media. A chilling explanation that left everyone asking, was it a mistake or something premeditated? This is the heartbreaking story of Benjamin "Killboy" Best and his lover Augusta Osadian. She had dreams, a future, and a life full of promise. But now her story serves as a haunting reminder of the dangers that can lurk behind closed doors. Welcome to Mind Twist, True Crime Stories, where all our stories are based on true crimes. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel. Hit the notification bell icon so you won't miss any of our latest stories. How well do you really know the person you love? Can the life someone shares online ever reveal the truth of who they really are? And what happens when the image of perfection is shattered by violence? Benjamin Best, better known to his followers as Killboy, was a star on Instagram. His feed was filled with pictures of wealth, designer clothes, expensive cars, and high-stakes luxury. Alongside him in these posts was Augusta Osadian, or Augusta XXO, a stunning young influencer with over 100,000 followers of her own. Together, they seemed unstoppable. The kind of couple people envied and admired. They painted a picture of perfect love, a life of luxury, documented for the world to see. But behind the filters and carefully curated posts, a disturbing story was unfolding. A story that would end in tragedy. Killboy showered Augusta with extravagant gifts, a brand new car, designer everything. And then there was her birthday, a lavish affair, documented in detail on social media, complete with flowers, champagne, and heartfelt declarations of love. It was the stuff of fairy tales, or so it seemed. But behind the glamorous photos and exotic vacations, their relationship told a very different story. Hidden from their audiences were arguments, accusations, and an unraveling bond that no filter could fix. Then one day, everything came crashing down. On July 17th, 2023, the world watched as Killboy took to social media, not to share another polished moment, but to confess to a shocking crime. The details he revealed and the evidence left behind would horrify everyone who followed them. And the more the truth came out, the harder it became to separate fact from fiction. Why would someone with everything to lose commit such a brutal act? Was it an accident? Or was there something more disturbing beneath the surface? Who was Augusta Osadian? To her followers, she was Augusta XXO, a name synonymous with beauty, ambition, and influence. But behind the filters and curated posts was a young woman whose life seemed destined for greatness. At just 21 years old, Augusta was already building a name for herself in Lagos, Nigeria. A student at Lead City University in Ibadan, she was pursuing her dreams while captivating audiences online. Her Instagram account boasted over 120,000 followers, drawn to her impeccable style, glowing photos, and glimpses into her glamorous lifestyle. Her Instagram feed was a highlight reel of beauty, fashion, and an enviable lifestyle. Lavish vacations in exotic locations? Check. Designer outfits and accessories? Absolutely. Everything screamed success and happiness. But Augusta wasn't just another influencer. She had a unique charm that set her apart. A personality that made her posts feel personal and relatable. Whether showcasing fashion, beauty tips, or snapshots from her high-profile relationship with Benjamin Best, she had a way of drawing people in. Her life looked perfect, a mix of luxury and love. But as we now know, appearances can be deceiving. Despite her social media fame, Augusta was more than just her online persona. She was someone's daughter, someone's sister, and a young woman with her entire future ahead of her. A future that would be cut tragically short. But what kind of relationship was she really in? And why did everything go out of control? Make sure to watch till the end, because the truth behind Augusta's story is as complicated as it is devastating. And at the center of it all was her boyfriend, Benjamin Best, known online as Killboy. A self-proclaimed blockchain developer and crypto enthusiast, he wasn't shy about flaunting his wealth either. Together, they were an Instagram power couple, jet-setting across the globe, sharing their seemingly idyllic life with their followers. To some, he was Benjamin Best, a flashy socialite who seemed to live life on his own terms. But to others, his name was tied to whispers of fraud, deceit, and controversy. Killboy wasn't just another name in Nigeria's social scene. Known for his extravagant lifestyle, designer outfits, and connections to some of the country's most talked about circles, he projected an image of success and sophistication. But in 2021, that image was shattered when he found himself in the crosshairs of the EFCC, Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The allegations were staggering. $150 million siphoned through fraudulent schemes. It wasn't just a single mistake, it painted the picture of a man who thrived in the shadows, manipulating the system for personal gain. His arrest sent ripples through his world, and while some distanced themselves, others defended him, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. Killboy claimed to be a blockchain developer, a forward-thinking tech entrepreneur, and a punter. But how does a man with such allegations looming over him rise to such prominence? Was it brilliance, or was it something much more evil? As his name trended for all the wrong reasons, Killboy seemed to embrace the chaos. He became a polarizing figure, a symbol of audacity to some and deceit to others. But was this the real Benjamin Best, or was it another mask he wore? Here's the question for you. Can someone truly outrun their past, or does it eventually catch up to them? Killboy's troubled history is just the beginning of a story that took a tragic turn no one could have expected. Behind the glossy photos and picture-perfect captions, Augusta Osedion and Benjamin Best's relationship was far from ideal. Their 2-year union, which many admired from afar, was riddled with tension that few could see, until it was too late. Close friends and family would later describe a relationship marked by highs and devastating lows. Arguments that started as whispers grew louder over time, with social media offering glimpses of the cracks beneath the surface. Posts that once celebrated love and unity gave way to subtle digs, cryptic captions, and moments of silence that spoke volumes. Augusta's mother recalls the last conversation they had, a call that would haunt her forever. Augusta was determined to fix what was broken. She spoke of addressing their issues, finding a way to rebuild what they had lost. But what exactly were those issues, and why did she feel the need to resolve them so urgently? People close to the couple paint a picture of an explosive dynamic. There were heated arguments, emotional confrontations, and moments that left both sides wondering if they were meant to be together at all. Yet, they stayed, tethered by love, fear, or something else entirely. Here's where things get unsettling. What drives someone to hold on to a relationship so volatile? Was it hope? Or was there something neither of them was willing to walk away from? Because Augusta's call to her mom wasn't just an attempt to mend the cracks. It would be the last attempt, and the events that followed would change everything. Don't go anywhere. The story is just getting started. July 11th. A date that began like any other, but would soon spiral into tragedy. Benjamin Best, known to many as Killboy, and Augusta Osadion were reportedly trying to mend their fractured relationship. There had been arguments, many arguments, but this one seemed different. According to Augusta's family, she believed they could work through it, despite everything. But by the evening, something shifted. The reconciliation attempt gave way to another heated exchange. Words turned sharp, accusations flew, and tensions escalated beyond control. It's unclear what exactly was said, but what happened next would send shockwaves through their world. By the early hours of July 12th, Benjamin Best made a horrifying confession online. His words were blunt, almost detached. "I mistakenly stabbed her during an argument." A single statement that raised more questions than answers. What could have led to such a catastrophic act? And why was his first response to post it online? Killboy's version of events was fragmented, shared sporadically in social media posts. He claimed it was an accident, a moment of blind rage that got out of hand. But the timeline he presented left many uneasy. If it was truly a mistake, why didn't he seek help immediately? Why were there hours unaccounted for between the incident and his confession? Augusta Osadion was gone, her life cut short in the most unimaginable way. But the details surrounding her death were as haunting as the act itself. The questions lingered. Was it a moment of uncontrollable rage, or was there something deeper, more premeditated at play? Now, here's the unsettling part. Killboy didn't just confess. He vanished. What was he running from? Justice or guilt? This story only gets more complicated from here. On July 12th, after hours of silence and no word from her daughter, Augusta Osadion's mother became frantic. She tried calling, sending messages, but there was no reply. Something wasn't right. Her gut told her that Augusta, normally active on social media and in contact with her family, wasn't just ignoring her. With mounting anxiety, Augusta's mother made her way to Killboy's apartment. What she didn't know was that the man she had trusted with her daughter's safety was hiding a dark and twisted truth inside those walls. When she arrived, the door was locked. There was no answer. In a state of desperation, she called the police. Minutes later, officers forced their way inside. What they found was nothing short of horrifying. Augusta's mutilated body lay in the apartment. The details were grotesque. Her body had been disfigured, and vital parts were missing. The signs of a brutal struggle were unmistakable. The room stained with evidence of the violence that had unfolded just hours earlier. The police immediately secured the scene, and forensic experts moved in. What they found was chilling. Missing body parts, signs of restraint, and marks of severe trauma that couldn't be ignored. The brutality of the act sent shockwaves through everyone involved. What happened inside that apartment? Was this truly a crime of passion, or was there something more deliberate and planned behind the horrific discovery? After the horrific discovery, one question remained. Why? He spoke of guilt, remorse, and a deep despair that had overcome him. "I didn't mean to do it," he wrote. "I loved her more than anything." The posts painted a picture of a man broken by his own actions, torn apart by the consequences. But there was one thing Killboy was adamant about. He denied any ritualistic intent. Despite the brutal way he disposed of Augusta's body, he rejected any theories of occult involvement, pleading that his actions were not driven by something evil. "She was the love of my life," he insisted. Was this a man who snapped in a moment of rage, or was there something more to his confession? His emotional breakdown left many wondering if there were deeper, darker forces at play, forces not easily understood. What do you think? Is this just the act of a man overtaken by guilt, or was something more calculated behind the violence? After his confession, a chilling reality set in. Killboy wasn't just a man drowning in guilt, he was now a fugitive. In the wake of his shocking Instagram posts, he vanished. His whereabouts remained unknown, and Lagos became a city on edge, waiting for a trail that would lead to him. He was no longer just a suspect. He was on the run, slipping through the fingers of law enforcement. His social media accounts, once active with luxury and smiles, went silent. His posts, which once celebrated an image of wealth and love, suddenly became private. The world watched, waiting for a sign, but none came. He had disappeared, at least for the time being. Outrage was swift. The public demanded justice, and Augusta's family was left in agony, desperate for answers. What kind of man could commit such an act and then flee without remorse? The authorities intensified their investigation, leaving no stone unturned. But Killeboy remained elusive, evading capture at every turn. Where was he? What was he planning? As the search for him escalated, one thing was clear: this was far from over. Months passed. Killeboy remained a ghost, a fugitive hiding in plain sight, until a breakthrough came from the most unlikely place: Sierra Leone. The search for him had stretched across borders, fueled by public outrage and relentless international pressure. His name had become synonymous with betrayal, and his escape only deepened the public's thirst for justice. Then, in a turn of fate, he was captured. It wasn't luck that led to his arrest. It was a coordinated effort, fueled by a network of law enforcement agencies determined to bring him to justice. With every passing day, the walls were closing in. His social media silence could no longer protect him. He had nowhere left to run. Augusta's mother narrates how he was captured.
When my daughter was murdered, it was very, very difficult for me to come online. I couldn't hold it. That girl is that husband, his partner, my everything you can think of. So I was really short of words. And when they started chatting me up, Mommy, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. The way he wrote it, I thought maybe it was me. Oh yeah, come out, let's go to the police. He refused coming out. Then along the line, he started when he saw the poster that he wants to send money to me for burial. I said, I don't need money for burial, just come out. After some time, he changed the narrative again, that it was self-defense. I said, just come out. When you come out to the police, you judge my mouth, you judge my daughter's mouth, you judge your mouth. I took you as his son. Then after a while, after he posted the last one he posted, I'm the one peeping my daughter off from men, which I never did. He now blocked me off. He wasn't chatting me against his then. So at that point, I know that, okay, there's no way to reach him again. So what I did, I sent his passport photographs to all my relatives, all my friends, all my families all over the world. And I told them he has tattoo on his body. That is the way to identify him. So along the line, my cousin in Liberia, Sierra Leone, my cousin in Sierra Leone on the first hinted me, Auntie, I saw somebody exactly like this. So immediately, my son and another of my cousin, they went to Sierra Leone. But when they were in Sierra Leone, a day before they got there, they now declared him wanted. So because they declared him wanted, they started hiding. But then my cousin went there, met with the commissioner of police there, met with everybody and talked, showed the picture of the corpse of my daughter because he actually killed her and left her to rotting, actually killed her and collected her phone with her. So the police there has been working. So yesterday night they kept chatting us. It was around 2 a.m. When my cousins were there, they now went to the hotel he used to lodge. On getting to the hotel, it was a white man. The white man said, no, they can't accommodate a murderer, but he has left their place. That okay, let it print out his passport. You can't believe it. Nigerians all over the world, that he killed my daughter on the 13th of July. Best now, go Benjamin got Sierra Leone passports on the 28th of July. He changed his name. His son name that is Benjamin, he changed it to Kanu. His first name that is Best, he changed it to Pristone. His middle name that is Nnayerugo, he changed it to Samuel. So with that passport and the local numbers, the police there began to work for us for the past over 2 weeks now. To the glory of God, yesterday 2 a.m. in the night, Benjamin was caught. He has ever bragged that he can never enter handcuff. He's on handcuff. Nigerians, do you what? 1% of the pay is gone this morning. Now Benjamin is caught.
But that was only the beginning. The battle was far from over. Sierra Leone wasn't his final destination. The question now was, would Killeboy face the consequences of his actions in Nigeria? The extradition process began, a legal tug-of-war that would eventually return him to the place where it all began. But what awaited him there? Would justice be served, or was this just another chapter in a story of chaos and tragedy? As at the time of telling this story, there has been no information on the extradition or handover of Killeboy to the Nigeria authorities, nor has there been any news about the charges leveled against him and the sentences. However, there has been speculation that he has allegedly broken out of the Sierra Leone prison he was remanded in. Though sources have not confirmed this to be true, but we will keep an eye out for further updates. This story is more than just a crime. It's a stark reminder of the dangers that often lie beneath the surface of seemingly perfect relationships. Augusta and Killeboy's tragic end reveals the dark truth about toxic behavior, manipulation, control, and emotional abuse, all hidden behind a carefully crafted facade. What makes this case especially haunting is that the signs were there. The fights, the red flags, the calls for help that went unheard. They were all part of a larger pattern, a dangerous cycle that many refuse to recognize until it's too late. And this isn't just about one couple, it's about every relationship that hides unresolved conflict beneath the surface. Emotional abuse doesn't always look like what we expect. It doesn't always involve physical violence, but it's just as real, just as dangerous. This tragedy calls for a shift, a greater awareness of domestic violence, and a commitment to preventing future victims from suffering in silence. If there's one thing we can learn from this, it's that no relationship is perfect. But when the signs of abuse are ignored, the consequences can be fatal. What if Augusta had gotten the help she needed sooner? What if the warning signs of this dangerous relationship had been addressed before things escalated beyond repair? Could her life have been saved? I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think Killeboy's remorse was real? And what could we have done differently? Share your thoughts and let's keep this conversation going. May Augusta's story not be in vain, but a wake-up call for us all. A reminder that love should never feel like a fight for survival. Dear viewer, if you still haven't subscribed to this channel, kindly do so now, as your support will mean a lot to us and keep us encouraged. To Augusta's family and friends, our heart goes out to you. No words can truly ease the pain of such an unimaginable loss. May you find strength in the love she brought into your lives and in the justice that is still sought. You are in our thoughts, and we stand with you in this fight for justice. Thanks for watching to the end, and see you in our next story.